Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel via Oracle. I'm really excited to get a reading on the Virgo new moon. I'm going to pull a soul card to start out with because it's the least defined, and I think I just want to do some right brain things right now. Okay, two have fell out. We have someone with an activated heart, fire, and I get spirit guide energy from this card quite strongly. So your spirit guides are working on activating your heart chakra at this time, which makes sense because Virgo it's the Virgin, it's also relational. And this is a time for relationships. My last Virgo moon reading video I did was actually really powerful and had a lot of views. And there was just something so potent about that energy. And it's the same with this moon. And if you've seen Pam Gregory's work, she talks about how this is a two-part moon because we have the Virgo. I'm going to pull an animal card here. We have the Virgo new moon this month and then a Virgo new moon during the eclipse next month. So it's extra potent because this is part one of what's going to be a preview of what our eclipse experience of that moon cycle is going to be like. And we have spider. So again, with the dark feminine, the spider is an interesting energy because she's all about making it about her. So it's all consuming. It's self-relating. It's self-absorbed, but not necessarily in a negative way. The spider can also be protective. She can be ferocious against toxic masculine. I'm gonna want more clarity on the spider, so I'm gonna pull from the Jungian Tarot. Let's see what we get here. Tell me about the spider. Okay, interesting. We get the Tower. So yeah, there's a huge catalytic shift, and I think it's regarding the dark feminine. There's a reclamation of innocence against the distortion that has been clouding the feminine for so long, is how I'm seeing that. And I want to pull a shaman oracle card to confirm, because my experience with this moon has been really intense. I've done a lot of personal and energetic healing modalities. I've dived into some shadow, and there's been such great progress that's been made with the momentum of this week. Okay, so we have Beauty Way, and this is about the practice of beauty, the reverence and sanctity of gratitude. Why is it oh, okay. Now I understand what it's saying. So this is about letting go of vanity. And this is a huge theme in my life right now. Releasing the need to look a certain way. Realizing that your power comes from within, because there's been so much spell casting, and there's a $3 trillion industry trying to tell women what they should look like and that their looks are their value. And so this is about reclaiming our power against that system. And it's very potent at this time for women healing wounds of not feeling enough, not taking out relationships that have failed, taking it out on their own bodies, hating themselves for things that didn't work out, getting control from micromanaging what they eat and what they do. And I feel like this is the heart activation that's playing out for the feminine right now. So I'm getting feminine energy really strong. I'm gonna pull from the Sacred Hag Oracle. It's a great segue. We're all gonna be hags one day. Embracing it. The grandmother's prayers. I don't know what this card is, but my guess is it's the blessing of our ancestry, of our grandmothers, of our maternal lineage. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking. It happens when I eat chocolate or drink caffeine, and I don't know why, but let me see what this card says. 36. Okay. Elderhood. It's an initiation into elderhood, because you can't be an elder, you can't be a wise, feminine, crone, maternal figure in your community if all you care about is clinging to your fading youth and your external shell. So some of you are at a crossroads, stepping into what it is to become an elder, to become someone who others look to for wisdom and advice. And you can't do that if you care about your appearance. So that's the releasing of the superficial, self-conscious, wounded, insecure programming that's been running. I love this message. Let's read from the pamphlet here. What elders have you been blessed to know in your life? Child, elders are truly compassionate wisdom keepers who stand on that wild divide between innocent grace and high fire leadership. So we're getting fire. Let me hold both up for a second. A true elder, my love, allows their soul to guide while their smaller selves and ego-born desires take the back seat. You know you are conversing with an elder because youthful wonder and otherworldly knowing converge in their words. If you want to truly understand spirit and divinity, ask an elder. Mind you, they have no great title, no letters following their name. There is a humility accompanying their wisdom and an adamant refusal to claim ownership over principles and language that are timeless. Yeah, so it's about being initiated, because we need the elders. I have said this back when I had an Instagram before I deleted it, that we need elders. We need people who don't just grow old, but are initiated into wisdom to provide for the next generation all that they've learned and accumulated. And this is growth. This is spiritual growth and evolution, but not everyone chooses wisdom. Everyone gets older, but not everyone chooses to grow wiser and to be worthy of being considered a role model or someone to look to for advice. So let's pull from the Kali deck on this. Yeah, so it's the Dharma of Kali. I remember this card being about balancing the beauty and the ferocity of the feminine and stepping into a timeline of embodiment and power. So power is a really big theme here. Dharma of Kali number 37. Her every action is infused with loving purpose. Every challenge and every opportunity in your life exists by her divine design. Her spiritual intelligence is within your heart. When you trust in your integrity and proceed according to your soul's values, you are empowering her to be at cause in your life. Everything that is happening is part of how your prayers are being answered. A new order is to be established. You are being led into it. Yeah, so this is also following an internal compass, a spiritual law that comes from within. So people who are in religious spirit will read books like the Bible and think of a lot of rules that they have to follow, not also understanding context and not also understanding their own discernment and conscience that they were given. God gave us all a conscience, and so we should all know how to tap into that because it's personalized to us, and that is our God-knowing morality code. So that's what makes us elders, is the ability to discern from within. We're not adhering to some external structure, law, programming to tell us what's right and wrong because we know what's right and wrong and we can trust that within ourselves. It's an advanced form of spirituality, because before you can get there, you have to have morals. You have to know right from wrong on a basic level. You have to move through the 3D matrix duality of black and white to get to that place from an integrated, healthy standpoint. Otherwise, if you're trying to bypass morals altogether, you're never going to get to that wisdom within, because that's the next stage. You can't skip a grade, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull from the sexual tarot. I'm just feeling that. Okay. What do we have here? Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Snuggles. And the Hanged Man. I'm just getting a lot of like fun and coziness in union relationships right now. I think there's a sense of building a life, building financial success together. That's been a repeating theme. So I think unions are being forged at this time. I want to pull an animal card for more clarity on this. Actually, no, let's pull from the, let's pull from the Jengian Tarot again, because I don't know. Tell me about the sexual tarot cards. What's happening here? Okay, Ace of Wands. So yeah, there is a new vitality coming in. There's a new fire. I'm getting that this is actually, okay, so when you're stepping into a kind of wisdom, it's like some of you are being tested. You're being tested to release superficial beauty. You're being tested to release superficial laws of right and wrong and to step into this internal world that is invisible to those who don't have the spiritual capacity to see and feel it and experience it. And when you step into that, despite what's all the white noise going on around you, it creates this new fire and energy and sparks and ignites something in your union, because this person is benefiting from that work that you're doing. And we think it's the opposite. We think that we have to psychoanalyze someone to figure out how to please them to become what they want us to become. I think the feminine does that a lot if she's not careful. And then the whole superficial beauty that we are told as women we need to embody in order to attract a mate. Once we release that, our true beauty comes forth, our true intuition and powers come forth, and that liberates the masculine and liberates and expands and heals and brings forth true union. So that's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm gonna pull one more Sacred Hag Oracle card, and then maybe we'll close this up. Oh my gosh, cards are falling everywhere. My room's a mess. I don't know if you can tell. Season of Tender Roots. This is coming through so strongly for me as this purity of rebirth and renewal, where you can release the old and step into something completely different that you never thought was possible for yourself because of the past. And this is forgiveness. This is the grace of God in action when you step into the sanctification and the purification and let that holy fire, let me grab these cards, holy fire cleanse your soul. Then you can be in the pleasure that God has for you fully. So we think that some people think that we have an angry God that doesn't like pleasure. That's not true. So when you're renewing your mind and you're living from your highest integrity, pleasure is that much more rewarding because it's pleasure that doesn't destroy the vessel, but it lifts and builds you up and heals relationships. And so that's really potent message, and it's so deep because so many people don't understand this. It's crazy the amount of self-sabotage and self-harm people act out in relationship and to themselves because they think that pleasure is just about the lower impulse of dopamine. That reminds me, you should all watch Attachment Style Adam. He does a great podcast talk on the attachment style of men. So this is a little personal, but I decided yesterday to be a born-again virgin and I had no idea Virgo, virgin, until after I decided that. It was such a download from Jesus to do that. And I'm not pressuring anyone else to do what I'm doing, but that's what felt right for me. And that's why this rebirth and renewal and pleasure is so potent in this reading. I think it's important I share because we think it's too late. We think that we have to just live with our mistakes. And I've been spared from a lot by the grace of God. And so it's time that I let him lead in my romantic choices as opposed to just letting my carnal desires take over, because that's sort of what's been going on for me until very recently. I'm an adult now. I'm a mom and I'm figuring things out. But this is another card coming through. So some of you are having babies, the diamond babies. Oh my God. I saw this woman and they're the perfect new age, new earth, twin flame soul union, kingdom spouse couple, and they're pregnant, and it makes me so happy because they're gonna be such great parents. And this card is just giving this kind of maternal energy that's coming through really strongly, and I love it. I love when women step into their softness and their femininity and their maternal desire to be a mom, and it's such an initiation. It's so beautiful. I don't know if this means some of you are going to be having kids and getting pregnant. Oh my goodness, that's really exciting. Let me pull one more card on that. I'll pull a shaman card just to see what's going on with this, because that could be the fire coming through too. And the season of tender roots talks about birth. Ooh, that's so exciting. Okay. And pleasure. It's a lot of great subject material going on right now, you guys. I love this. This is the Virgin Mary energy, of course. That's why this is all coming through. It's also Mary Magdalene energy. It's just love, sensuality, motherhood, birth, renewal, purity, because all those things tie together. You know, people try and the crow, so that's the truth. Yeah, the crow is about affirming the truth, because people try to pigeonhole women as, if they're mothers, they're damaged goods. If we're virgins, there's this whole virgin Madonna whore complex going on, where society is just constantly trying to tell women who they are, what their value is based on their sexual past. But it's actually, it's so big. Who we are is so undefinable, because it could change based on what we decide we are. And so I can decide I'm a mom, and I can also decide to be a born-again virgin, because why not? Anything's possible. I've cured my body of herpes. I've gone on crazy healing journeys. I've experienced aliens. I mean, just do what you want. So the crow is the truth. Just the truth is so personal and not to say that in an egoic way, because people will hear this and think, oh, truth it's about my truth, but it's about a truth that brings out and aligns with the highest version of yourself, not just satisfying your ego to say it's my truth because it's convenient for you. But there's a truth that resonates in your heart and your soul and your body and every cell and fiber of your being. There's a confirmation there. And so I feel like this is pretty summed up right now. Thank you for watching, and blessings on your journey. I'm looking forward to trying to make new content. I apologize that my microphone is broken, so the audio is probably gonna suck on this video until I figure that out. And I hate technology, but I'll keep making videos because I love you guys. And again, thanks for tuning in. Happy Virgo new moon, taking in all that feminine superpower, purity, ferocity, warrior energy, and just knowing that you are all of it and you are so powerful. This is definitely a message for the feminines, if I wasn't clear about that. Okay, bye.